Just to win it all. Problems when it comes to choosing, we got all them solved. Got the picks that needin' fixed, and you know who to call. Cause this the pick vault.
Welcome to the Pick Vault. I'm Matt Taylor. This is episode 1, alongside the one and only Danny Siv.
Actually, Matt, that is no longer my name.
You're doing the old name change.
The old name switch. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to stand with the Redskins here as they are doing the same. I will no longer be Danny Siv.
So obviously it's breaking news. Dan's changing his name, but it's also breaking news that the NFL team that plays in Washington will no longer be known as the Washington Redskins. Obviously, our society is adapting and making changes every single day for the better. And this is the latest example of it. So Dan, what are your thoughts initially on the fact that the team that's going to play football in the NFL in Washington is no longer the Redskins?
I mean, it's definitely going to throw me off for a few weeks because every single time someone plays Washington, I'm going to refer to them as the Redskins, just out of muscle memory, so I'm going to have to get used to that. But my other issue with it is the names that are given, which I'll let you list off after, I'm not a huge fan of. Don't like them, and how about you read a couple off for us, and I'll tell you why. Dan
mentioned the fact that there's a list here, and obviously these are the betting odds that just came out on the new name of this team. So obviously starting out the list, the favorite is going to be the Red Tails at plus 200, followed by the Presidents at plus 300, Lincolns plus 400, Generals plus 400, the Memorials plus 500, the Washington Kings plus 500, the Washington Americans plus 500, the Veterans plus 600, the Capitals, which is already a team, at plus 600. The Jeffersons plus 700. The Roosevelts plus 700. The Monuments plus 800. And then capping off the list, the Washington Arlingtons at plus 1,000.
I have one question out of all those names. What is an Arlington?
Well, you got to think isn't that where the troops are all buried in Arlington?
Is it Arlington, Virginia, right?
Yeah, Arlington National Cemetery.
Well, then I'm out on Arlington because obviously we're in Washington, not Virginia.
Well, hold on. The thing is, you got to remember, Ron Rivera, the coach of the new team that's going to play, he announced that he is, he's got a big part in this new name change. He just came on as a coach, and they're giving him a lot of leeway to be involved in this name change. And he announced that his dad served in the military in the armed forces, and that they're going to pay tribute to our armed services with this new name.
I mean, I absolutely respect that. That's totally fine. My only issue is, so after looking at all these names, I'll give you one that I love. I love the Red Tails, but I'd probably switch it a little bit. Probably go with the Red Hawks. I think it brings more swag. The organization has had nothing. They need a culture change. Obviously, that's what they're looking for here, but they need a whole revamp of who they are and what they are. Right now, Dwayne Haskins, young quarterback, like you mentioned, Ron Rivera, new head coach. This is the time to flip that change and be something in the NFL, because obviously the Redskins have not had that good of a history.
Well, yeah, they're getting a chance at an identity change, literally an identity change in the name, but also in what they're doing. They've been known as a lackluster team towards the bottom of the NFC East, and now they're going to get a chance to really change their identity.
I mean, and if you look at this, the Presidents, I do not like whatsoever. I think it's going to cause more controversy. You're going to have fans showing up as Donald Trump, potentially Barack Obama. Who knows? I just think that it could lead to no good calling it the Presidents.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. And especially because of the fact of the turmoil going on in our society today, it can only go one way, and that's not a positive direction. So Dan, before we head on to the next topic here, what are your thoughts if you had to pick, if you owned the Washington team, what would you name it?
I'd have to go with the Red Hawks. I just think that it looked good on a helmet. It looks good on merchandise. And it's changing that culture. It's upping their swag. I think that's where they need to stand out. Like you said, it's an identity change.
I agree 100%, but I'm going to go with the Washington Generals. I think it pays a nice tribute to our the men, in the services. And it also does have a nice mascot to it. I could see a team, an NFL team, having a general on their helmet. Along the same topic, though, right? There's been a lot of talk about all these teams that are changing their names. The Braves announced today, or in the past 24 hours, they've announced that they're not changing their name, but they're going to look into
the chop.
the chop. So Dan, what are your thoughts about the Braves in relation to the new news about the Redskins?
I mean, my problem is that they almost have to do something, because if they're looked at and they don't come out and say they need to make change, then obviously they're going to be throw more hate on them. People are going to find an issue with it. But my problem is changing the chop. And I know this is a little irrelevant, but it goes to Florida State. They have a chop. And I know that has been controversial in the past. And I'm intrigued by what they're going to do about all this. Because if the Braves have to get rid of the chop, you can't tell me the Florida State Seminoles can keep it. There's no way.
Well, here's where it differs, right? You got the Redskins, which is obviously a derogatory term, or can be interpreted as a derogatory term. I believe, and this is one of the reasons the Braves aren't going to change their name, calling them the Braves and having them, it's a positive. It's a positive connotation.
Braveheart, kind of like a good movie.
So going along with that, I think it brings a positive connotation, whereas Redskin has a negative and also maybe undertones of racism and other forms of negative connotations.
Absolutely. All right, so I'll swing it on you then. What do you think about the Cleveland Indians?
Well, Terry Francona came out, the coach, the manager of the Indians, came out again in the past 24 to 48 hours and said that he believes they should change their name. I don't think they're going to change it, though.
I don't think they're going to change it again. I think he had to say that.
So on that same topic, Dan, with the Indians, there has been talks of changing the name, and the odds came out for the new name of the Indians if they're going to change it. Obviously, the favorite is they keep it, the Indians, at minus 110. That's the favorite. But then you got the Naps, N-A-P-S, at plus 150. The Spiders are plus 200. The Guardians are plus 300. The Wild Things, like that movie, plus 500. The Buckeyes, plus 600. And then my favorite,
the Rocks,
Dwayne The Rock
Johnson.
The Rock. The Rock's at plus 750. So, Dan, if you own the Cleveland Indians, what are you naming the team?
Truthfully, if I owned the Cleveland Indians, I wouldn't change the name. But if I had to, I know they used to be called the Cleveland Naps. I actually saw that today. So I think that's why that is the favorite, because they might say, okay, let's go back to what we were. But I think a spider would look very, very cool on a hat.
Okay.
Like, very cool. So I'm all in on the Spiders. Guardians, it reminds me of like Galaxy of the Guardians. I don't think we could do that. The Wild Things, good book, good movie, like you mentioned. I don't think that's the fit either.
All right, so Dan's picks for the name changes in the NFL. He believes
Spider.
We're gonna have the Spider for the Indians. And who'd you say for the Redskins?
The Redskins, I'm going with the Red Tails.
Red Tails. Plus 200.
Plus 200.
All right.
Not much value, but a lot of potential there, I think.
All right, this is the Pick Vault. We'll come back at you.
Taking sports gambling to the next level. Till next time, this is the Pick Vault. Signing off.
This the Pick Vault. Gonna sit you down and listen to this real talk. Ain't no first or second option, this the default.